Sourabh Gupta is with the Institute for China-America Studies, where he's a senior Asia-Pacific international relations policy specialist. Martin went down a whole list of things. Let's begin with this South China Sea Code of Conduct. First and foremost, how important was this first step in getting that established?
Very, very important. They've been making good progress over the last 2 years. We had a framework of the Code of Conduct. We have the single draft negotiating text prepared. This was the first round of negotiations. It's a complex document. It is not meant to resolve the territorial or the maritime rights disputes, but it is meant to have a certain amount of Pacific order in the South China Sea. The goal is to get this done in 3 years. This is a very, very important first step.
Martin also mentioned the DPRK. We know that there's been a lot of activity in recent weeks with Kim Jong-un and these missiles that have been going into the air. How is ASEAN trying to be on the same page when it comes to that?
ASEAN has difficulty on Northeast Asian issues. It's very important on Southeast Asian issues and certain transboundary, broad Indo-Pacific issues writ large. But on North Korea, it is those 6 parties and the main players who are involved. And that's why the important thing is if the North Korean foreign minister does show up or not in Bangkok will be the crucial thing, because Secretary of State Pompeo is there and they just need to talk to each other, because the outlines of what could be a limited agreement are available and doable, but they have to get their politics right, and that just doesn't seem to be coming together.
As these foreign ministers, these ASEAN foreign ministers meet, to the north, we'll see more trade talks between the U.S. and China in Shanghai. A lot of these ASEAN countries are sort of split between the U.S. and China. How are they looking to navigate as a bloc this trade war that's currently underway?
For them, this is a very, very important trade war. There are certain advantages to be gained for this country and that ASEAN country from the trade war, but those are small, narrow advantages. Look from a larger holistic perspective, they are there's a lot of anxiety in the region that these two superpowers, economic superpowers, are clashing simply because all the supply chains run through China and ASEAN, and then final goods markets are in Japan, EU, United States, and now even in China. So they do want the negotiations to succeed, and it's not in their grasp to do that. But one of the ways what is within their means to do is at least try to bring the RCEP negotiations to fruition. And I think we saw it in the chairman's statement, which the Thai Prime Minister put out, I think, 2 months back. And even the Chinese have been emphasizing it, that we need to have an RCEP deal by this year, and let's get to it.
We know that Wang Yi will be there to take part in these meetings. You mentioned Pompeo there as well. Also, Sergei Lavrov of Russia will be there for these ASEAN foreign ministers meetings. What is Russia hoping to get out of this with ASEAN?
Russia has been out of the region for very long. Russia was seen as a player only in Northeast Asia, given the Korean Peninsula situation and its disputed territorial issues with Japan. But Russia wants to say we are a global player, and a global player has a footprint everywhere in the world. And if Asia is the fastest growing area in the region in the world, Russia needs to be there. Russia has shown itself to be a sort of intermediate, no, I wouldn't call it an intermediary party, but a party with whom it can have good relations with ASEAN and deepen contacts with all the other players out there. And I think the ASEAN countries value Russia's role in being more forthcoming, because it provides another additional option for them. And so from that perspective, it's intriguing to see where Russia fits itself in, particularly considering just in 1 week back, we had the first joint air patrol with the Chinese going all the way up. And they've been doing air patrols actually all the way down till the South Pacific. So Russia wants to show that it has its footprint also in the neighborhood.
Sourabh Gupta, as always, we thank your time for your time.
Thank you.